Hello, my name is Miss Shira, and today I'm going to share a lesson with you, so thank you for being my students. Before we get started, I just want to cover some housekeeping rules, okay? So in our classroom, we have a few things that we say to let you know that that I need your attention. And one of my favorite things to say is kind of silly. It's macaroni and cheese. So if I say macaroni and cheese, I need you to say macaroni and cheese. All eyes on me. Can you say that?
All eyes on me.
So if you're doing something, if you're talking and I say macaroni and cheese.
Eyes on me.
Oh, kiss your brain. You are so smart. Kiss your brain. Kiss your brain. All right, so I am going to talk to you today about measuring things, okay? It might be a little bit babyish.
Do you want me to get a ruler?
We're going to do it in a whole different way, but that's a good idea. But first, I want to read you a book. It's one of my favorite books. It's called Thank You, Amu. Can you say Amu?
Amu.
Can you look at the picture and try and figure out who Amu might be?
The grandma.
Man, you're so smart, Elena. You're right. Amu is actually a word in Nigerian. The actual language is called, what is it called? Abu, I believe. And it actually means queen, but it's also a term that's used to describe a grandmother.
Thank you, queen.
Thank you, queen, or thank you, grandma. Right? So I'll read you the story and then we'll talk a little bit more. Elena, I want you to have your ears listening for words that describe things in this book, and we'll talk about those at the end, okay?
I don't know what describe means.
Well, I'm glad you asked. Described means like a word that tells you about something. So I might say Elena is tall, right? That's a descriptive word. Or I might say that Tobias's eyes are blue. That's a descriptive word. Can you tell me something that describes me?
Your skin is brown?
It is brown because it got kissed by the sun. All right, let me read you the story and then we'll talk some more. On the corner of First Street and Long Street, on the very top floor, Amu was cooking a thick red stew in a big fat pot for a nice evening meal. She seasoned and stirred it and took a small taste. What a delicious stew, Amu said. Tonight's dinner will surely be the best I've ever had.
Mm-hmm. It looks yummy.
Oh, it does look yummy. Can you imagine what it might smell like?
Like tomato soup.
Oh, I bet it smells so good. With that...
Like bites of heaven.
Oh, that's good. With that, Amu put down her spoon and went to read a book before supper. As the thick red stew simmered on the stove, its scrumptious scent wafted out the window and out the door, down the hall, towards the street, and around the block until someone was at the door. When Amu opened it, she saw
A boy.
You've read this book. A little boy. Little boy, Amu explained, what brings you to my home? I was playing with my race car down the hall when I smelled the most delicious smell. The little boy replied, what is it? Thick red stew. Stew, he sighed. That sure sounds yummy. Amu thought for a moment. She was saving her stew for dinner, but she had made quite a bit. It would not hurt to share. Would you like some? The little boy nodded, and so Amu spooned out some thick red stew from her big, fat pot for her nice evening meal. Thank you, Amu, said the little boy, and he went on his way. With that, Amu closed the door and went back to her book. As she read, her thick red stew's scrumptious scent wafted out the window and down the door, down the hall, towards the street, and around the block until...
Knock, knock, knock.
Someone was at the door. When Amu opened the door this time,
There's an officer.
she saw
An officer. An officer.
a police officer. Mr. Police Officer, Amu explained, what brings you to my home? I was on a duty down the street the smell the most delicious smell? Miss Police Officer replied. Oh, what is it? Thick red stew. Stew, she said, and her mouth watered. That smells mighty tasty. Amu thought for a moment. There was still enough to share.
She sounds mad, but she looks happy to share.
Some people just talk with emphasis all the time. I think Amu's just very expressive, Have you met my grandmother, Gigi? She's kind of expressive like that. So she said, would you like some? The police officer nodded. Once again, Amu spooned out some thick red stew from the big fat pot for her nice evening meal. Thank you, Amu, the officer said and went on her way. And so, for the second time, Amu closed the door and went back to her book. Sure enough, her thick red stew, scrumptious scent, wafted out the window, down the door, down the hall, towards the street, around the block until...
Knock, 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 knock.
Knock, knock, knock. Again, someone was at Amu's door. This time, when she opened it... There you go. A hot dog vendor, Amu explained. What brings you to my home? I was smelling hot dogs down the block when I smelled the most delicious smell, Mr. Hot Dog Vendor replied. What is it? Thick red stew. Oh, stew. The vendor licked his lips. That sounds quite delectable. So Amu spooned out some thick red stew from the big fat pot for her nice evening meal. Thank you, Amu, said the hot dog vendor and went on his way. Throughout the day, people from all across the neighborhood knocked on Amu's door. She fed a shop owner, a cab driver, a doctor, an actor, a lawyer, a dancer, a baker, an artist, a singer, an athlete, a bus driver, a construction worker, and even the mayor stopped by. And each time they knocked, Amu shared. Soon, the sky darkened, the street lights brightened, and it was finally time for dinner. But when Amu opened her big fat pot, the thick red stew, for her nice evening meal, do you see anything?
It's all gone.
It's all gone. Poor Amu. How sad.
Now everyone's gonna share with her.
Amu sniffled. There goes the best dinner I ever had. Sorry and blue, she sat at the table with her empty pot until...
Knock, 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 knock.
Who could that be? Amu wondered. When she opened her door, she saw...
Every single person.
The little boy, the police officer, the hot dog vendor, the shop owner, the cab driver, the doctor, the actor, the lawyer, the dancer, the baker. Everybody! Why, everyone she'd fed was at her door. I'm sorry, everyone, Amu sighed. My thick red stew's all gone. I have nothing left to share. The little boy tugged at Amu's sleeve. Don't worry, Amu. We're not here to ask. We are here to give.
I knew it. They're gonna share with her.
You're so right. The police officer carried a fresh salad. The mayor entered with a roasted chicken. The baker brought a collection of sweet goodies. Grandma Taylor brought a lasagna. Even the little boy presented Amu with something special in a shiny red envelope. Everyone who had knocked on Amu's door that day squeezed inside her tiny apartment, and together they ate, danced, and celebrated while Amu's big fat pot of thick red stew was empty. But her heart was full of happiness and love. That dinner was the best she ever had. Thank you, Amu.
I want some big red stew.
Was that a good book?
Yeah.
Did you like that book, Elsa?
Yeah. And I want to see how we're gonna measure.
Okay, we'll get there. Elsa, did you like this book? What did you like?
When they kept saying the stew.
They did. You know what? to make some stew today, too. I happen to have a big, fat pot. But I don't have any red stew. But I've got some things I want to share with you. And today, come on up, come closer, come closer. We are going to have a seat on the floor. Good job. And if I say macaroni and cheese,
Eyes on me.
all eyes on me. All right. So we are going to measure things today.
1, 2, 3. Eyes on me.
Very good. We're going to look in my big red pot. My big fat pot, just like
Is it
Amu's.
empty?
It's not empty yet.
Is it full?
It's pretty full. We're gonna pull some things out of here and we're gonna look at them and we're gonna describe them. Do you remember we talked about that word? What does describe mean?
It means it talks about.
We're gonna talk about some things in here and we're going to compare things. Do you know what compare means, Toby? Show me later.
I do.
What does it mean?
It means like if you took a big rock and a little rock and you were testing how big each one was or how much they weigh, that would be comparing them.
That's right. So we're gonna pull some things out. I'll go first. I'm gonna describe this. These are pretty cool underpants, right? I might say that this is soft, right? I could also describe it as white.
Light blue green.
I could also describe it as stretchy, right? Yeah?
Yeah.
Now, if I had this in my hand, I would describe this as what?
A chalk marker.
It is a chalk marker, but what does it look like? Describe what you see.
A cylinder. Cylinder.
Ooh,
Hard.
fancy word. A hard cylinder. So if I asked you which one was taller, how might you tell?
The diaper.
The diaper is taller. How do you know it's taller, Elsa? You just know it? Come grab something out of my pot. Let's see what we have in Amu's pot. All right, describe that for me. Tell me what you see.
Black.
I see black. What else do you see?
Orange.
Turn around so your siblings can see orange. What else could you say about it? Is it soft or hard?
Hard.
It is hard. Would you say it's heavy or light?
Light.
All right, stand up here, Toby. Grab something out of Amu's pot.
And out of Shira's one.
Whoa! I can be a
Chocolate
queen.
syrup.
Chocolate syrup. Ay, 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 ay. Is it heavy or light?
Kind of heavy, kind of light.
Kind of heavy. What color is it?
Black, red, and white, and brown.
What does it feel like to your fingers?
Soft.
It feels soft. Okay. Now put this in your other hand. Which one's heavy?
This one.
Which one's taller?
This one.
Good job, Elena. Come grab something. You sit down. You can be next. What's that?
A bell pepper.
A bell pepper. Okay, tell me what do you think about it? How does it feel?
Squishy.
It does feel squishy. What color?
Squeeze it till it's popped.
Green?
That'll get in our eyes.
Oh, that would not be good. That would not be good.
But
All right.
then we would be making stew.
You three sit because it's Thaddeus' turn. Come and grab something out of the pot.
I thought I grabbed.
We might have to help him. What is it? What is it? Is it a roll of tape? What does it feel like? It's soft?
I'm gonna.
What color is it? Orange. We could say orange, maybe. How about white? Is it white? White. All right. So this is what we're going to do. Everybody has something in their hand. Everybody pick a buddy. Pick one buddy. Counting down out of each other. Pick somebody to buddy.
I choose Thaddeus.
Good job. All
I
right.
choose Toby.
By the time I get to 1, I want you to be sitting face to face with your buddy. 5,
Thaddeus, look at.
Four.
Sit down and look at me.
3, 2, 1. All right, now you have something in your hand and so does your buddy. I want you to talk to each other and tell them how they compare. How does yours compare to theirs?
You put yours right there.
So you might say, Toby, you might say that
Which one is
mine
taller?
is
this
what?
one higher?
Is it heavy
Is this
or
one
light
bigger?
compared to yours?
Don't open that.
Is that one light or is this one bigger or this one? Is that one light? Okay. Is this one green? Light.
Very good. That's light.
Yeah. Is this one green? What color is it? Yeah. No, it's white.
30 more seconds, and then you're going to come and tell us how yours compares to your partner. And I'll give you one more thing to add to it. So you can talk about how all these things compare. There you go.
Is this taller than that? Or is that taller? That. Is that green? This is not. This one is that this is green. And this is green. Is this big or small?
Very good. And you know how you can tell that those are taller? Because you put them on the same level. You put them even on the ground and you stand them up, and that's how you know which one's taller. So is the marker taller than the chocolate syrup?
Smaller or bigger than that?
All right. What? Macaroni and cheese.
I got me.
Macaroni and cheese.
I got me.
I love it. All right, you two, come on up and tell me how your items compare. So this is how I want you to say it. I want you to say my, and then tell me what you have is heavier or lighter than hers.
Mine is heavier than her.
Her what? And yours is what?
Mine is light.
Lighter than.
His.
All right, Elena.
These two are green, and that one's white, and that have layers. But these ones don't.
Layers.
These
that's
two
a-
are big, and this one is small.
Good job. And is his heavy or light compared to yours?
Heavy.
Is it heavy? Yeah. Good job. Can I have
Mine
this one?
is lighter.
Thank you. All right. So the next thing we're gonna do is. Can I have Papa?
Aren't I gonna
Please, por favor.
Aren't I gonna drink it?
Nah. All
I'm
right.
gonna add it to our
Macaroni and cheese.
Eyes on me.
All right.
Eyes on me.
Give me 5, buddy. All right. All right. So the last thing that we're gonna do before we're done, because I think that you guys can say that you're able to describe things using words. We talked about longer or shorter. We talked about heavy and light, right? So I want you to take a cell phone or iPad. Gotta listen, okay? I want you to take a cell phone or iPad, and I want you to either take a picture of 2 things that you find and tell me how they compare. Not yet, we gotta hear all the directions. Take a picture of 2 things and tell me how they compare, and then we'll talk about them later, okay? All right.
Mom, can I have your phone?
Go find your objects first.
Okay, this activity. Okay, tell me what you found.
The slingshot and 2 balls.
And how do they compare?
That is the one. The slingshot is harder than the ball.
The slingshot is harder than the balls. And which is the biggest?
Slingshot.
Good job. Okay, this activity is called an exit ticket. What I want you to do is to draw 2 of the same shapes and color the one that is biggest blue. Which one is the